Way to go, Steph. As soon as this goes live over there, we'll get started here because it's setting up the meeting there. A tube done. Here we go, redirecting. Good morning, everybody over there. And as soon as I get this done, nice job on the done. Way to go, test done. All right. So recorded here. We're going live. All right. Good morning, Misfits. Hello, my Misfits. 66 of you. Great to have you all here. I'm sure the number will climb. Here's the secret. You are amazing. Oh my goodness. My bride is
nice shirt.
Hey, thanks, man. This was made for me. This is of course it's tie-dye, but it was made for me by a student of mine. Her son down in Florida made these. He does it with ice or something. I'm not sure. It's pretty cool.
I'm an artist. I'm gonna have to make you something.
Oh, cool, man. I love it. I love it. So here's the thing. Oh, it must have some green right in here. It does. Look at that. You can see the green screen kicking in. So here we go. Listen, I need to ask you a question. Are you grading yourself or are you making yourself? Yeah. Wait till this stuff sits in with you. There's a couple of things. See, I love the Stoics. The Stoics are Epictetus, they're Marcus Aurelius. These are the people that sat around, and Stoicism means like porch. They used to sit on their porch. They used to sit in the circle in the town, in their little village, and they would have these deep conversations. This today, what we're doing right now, this is our porch. So we're doing a little bit of Stoicism. Oh, be speedy. Way to go. You read the Stoics daily. I love Epictetus. I love his manual. Have you read the book, The Manual? I need to get a whole bunch of those and give those away. So what it says behind me is how do you define your life? Is it by the grade someone gives you? Oh, here we go. You ready? Or is it by who made you? See, I know a lot of us have faith. I know a lot of us speak about Christianity. Man, this one's going to hit you a little bit today. Now, I'm not a Bible thumping. Nobody would call me up for prayer service or to lead the prayer group or anything like that. I just know there's a higher power than me, and I get to call on him every day or her every day. I get to call on somebody who says, follow me. So we're going to talk about who's grading you, who's talking about you, who's giving you, how are you living your life? So that's what we're going to do. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Great to have you all here. For those of you that just recently joined us, go ahead and make sure you send out your 3 messages of love, joy, and hope. So I'm going to send up, I'm going to put up, where did my slides go? They always seem to disappear. There you are. Move this over here. Got too many screens going on. So in the words of a very dear friend and mentor of mine, Jim Rohn, I'm going to ask you all a question. If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Go ahead and type it in the chat. Type, I'm ready, or just type an R for ready. Just type an R for ready. Let me know you're ready. All right, here we go, share. Sit back, because this one's going to be, y'all just keep making this go a little bit deeper and a little bit more and a little bit, because here's why I'm going to share this with you. Who graded your life? Who graded your life? The reason I share this with you, the reason this may seem deep, I know I see that a lot of times in the chat, deep. It's because too many people have been talking to you at the shallow end of the pool. You're trying to live your life. You're trying to create some substance in your life. You're wanting to build this. You wanting to stand on a foundation, but you're swimming in the shallow end of the pool. You're talking about stuff. We need to get down to who you are. So who graded you and gave you the grade you have in life right now? I mean, we could end this on that right there. We could end this Zoom, this webinar, this conversation, and let you go answer that question for the rest of your life. But I'd say let's just talk about it for the rest of this conversation. Who gave you the grade you have in your life right now? What grade do you have right now? Do you have an A+? Maybe you're living the A+ version. Maybe you're meant to be the example. How many of us Have you ever read in that good book where it says, this is the thing you should do and this is the thing you should avoid? How many of us have ever seen that place where we live life off of examples? Well, maybe you're the example right now. Maybe you're living the A+ version, but you're thinking it's the D- version. And doesn't that make you a little bit sad? What if this was the A+ version? Doesn't mean you're stuck here. But isn't it the A+ version? Isn't it the A+ version? I ask you that because can it get any better than it is right now? No, in this moment. Sadhguru says, a mystic from India says, in this moment, you choose what? You choose an A+ or you choose a D- life? Ooh, smack. What are you choosing in this moment? A+ or D-? Because here's what I know. If you believe in that whole idea of law of attraction, what we think about and think about, we bring about. Where thoughts go, results follow. We can come up with 1,001 sayings. So here's the reality. If you believe that you're in an A+ life right now, you have to act as if it's an A+ life right now. Right? We've all heard the stone about the guy building the church. And they're two stonemasons. And somebody walks up upon one guy and he goes, so tell me what you're doing. I'm chipping this stone. I'm making stones. And they ask, and he comes up upon another stonemason and he says, what are you doing? He says, he says, with every swing of my hammer, I have the chance to make a stone that will last for centuries in this building called a church. People will come here and worship. People will come here and have an amazing awakening. People will stand here in shelter. They will come here when they're scared. I get to build a stone that goes into that structure. Which one are you? Which one are you? What would have to change about you? What would have to change in the way you see this moment? Not what's out there and not what happened back there. You are the only one in charge of this moment. So let's dive into this. There's a couple of slides here. So what is a grade? If we look at the definition of what is a grade is a particular level of rank. Funny how we talked about yesterday, rank versus respect. It doesn't say a particular level of respect. It says a particular level of rank, quality, proficiency, intensity, or value. So I will say this. Sometimes we do need to look at a grade of our intensity. We do need to look at our grade of our quality of how we interact with people, quality of how we respect people, quality of how we bring value. Jim Rohn said, income is a ladder. The way you move up the rungs is provide more value. My mentor taught me this: become valuable to valuable people. Bring more value to valuable people. Some of you have done some pretty nice things for me, and we've spent 45 minutes, an hour on the phone together because you brought some value to me and I wanted to pay you back. I get to pay you back. And since I seem to have an experience that you are drawn to, I figured, let me give you what you're drawn to. Oh, and by the way, there's my Instagram, little selfish plug, self-full plug down there on the bottom of the screen. You can snapshot this stuff and put it out there. So we're talking about who graded you or who made you. I'd be curious. I mean, we're not going to go, listen, I'm not Bible thumping. I'm just talking about the reality of life. Some of us have some beliefs. Some of us may believe other things, but I believe there's a much higher power that made me, that allowed me to get here. So I say all of that to say, are you here for the grade or are you here for the who made you? Made. Now, I don't even know what this is. So somebody that understands English or grammar, it's the past participle of make. I think it's like it. I don't know. I'm not even sure what that means. So let's look at what is make. This is the one that's important. To form something by putting parts together or combining substances, construct or create. Listen, we could spend a day on this. To form something by putting parts together. Right now, the energy that you sit in, the energy that you absorb right now. What parts did you put together to make this moment? What parts did you put together to make this moment? Did you put parts together of frustration, anxiety? What did you compare yourself today? Did you go on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or someplace? Did you go someplace to look at somebody's dress and go, God, I wish I had that? Or somebody's car and you go, man, I wish I had that? Or somebody's house, man, I wish I could live there. Are you putting parts together of things that are outside of your control? So are you looking at a particular level of rank, quality, of proficiency, or by forming something by putting parts together? Combining substances. What are the substances you can put together? Hey, I don't, does anybody know Lewis, right? The young kid, the young gentleman from Puerto Rico. I reached out to him this morning. There was a 6.8 earthquake in Puerto Rico today. So I'm not sure. It just said it wrecked some buildings, but if somebody could just, if you know him, reach out to him. I sent him a message and hadn't heard back. So it could be, there's some issues down there, but just send a prayer to all of our folks and all of our families in Puerto Rico.
They have an island-wide blackout, Sean.
Do they, Monique? Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay, so that's why. So just send some love down there. I lived in Puerto Rico for 7 years. I lived through, I don't know, 14 hurricanes, 15 hurricanes there. But earthquakes are a little bit different. I was there for earthquakes. I was in Mexico City for earthquakes. They get a little scary. So thanks, Monique. I appreciate that. So by forming substance or putting parts together and combining, are you living the grade? Are you living the grade? Are you living at a particular rank right now? So let's bring it back to network marketing. Let's bring it back to MLM, mentors leading mentors, making lasting money, making lasting memories. Are you living at a particular rank? When people say, I'm stuck at this rank, it's, you know why they get stuck at this rank? Because they start living at that rank. They start living at that rank. Have a life of a particular quality. Do you have a life of a particular quality? Oh, I'm Dominican. I'm Trinidadian. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Texan. Whatever it is, do you have this rank that you're living at that you say is a particular quality and you're grading yourself on it? What grade would you give your intensity? What's your grade for the value you bring to life? Folks, this is going to get real, and it's not deep. It's just because most people, because of your youth, may not think, well, they don't need to hear this stuff. This isn't, we'll give them things to where we can control them. We'll give them scripts to where we can control them. We'll give them verbiage to where we can control them. God, we don't want them thinking. Well, I want you to know that you have the greatest capacity in the world to be able to be in total charge of your own life. So here we go. Whose grading scale are you using? How many of us were ever on the low end of the curve that we hoped the smart kid in the class would do bad so that the rest of us would get graded up? I was always praying for the curve, because if there wasn't a curve in school, I was always on the very bottom. I was in 2% of my class. That made the top 98% possible. Here we go. Are you really grading your life, or are you comparing your life? When you take time to realize, what are you doing? You have the most perfect life right now, don't you? Don't you have the most perfect life right now? In this breath, because from this breath, you can do what? Anything. There's some people at this moment, at this second, left this world. Say a prayer for them. They're no longer here. Their family is grieving. I don't know who that is. I don't know where they went. I know where they went, but what I'm saying is that right now you're still here. You're still breathing. You still have a chance to take control. I would ask you to avoid grading your life and comparing your life to someone else. It's time to stop and really get clear. Epictetus, one of the Stoics, says this. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate you. Epictetus said this. This is going to be a long quote, but I broke it up into slides. So Epictetus says this: the faculty of desire purports. Now, I had to look up what purports is because I told you I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I am the best in the world at what I do. Sometimes there's things I need help with. So purports is, if the definition of it is appears or claims to be or do something, especially falsely. So the faculty of desire falsely says, I'm aiming at securing what you want. I know this is I'm gonna piss off so many instructors and trainers right now. You know what? Not my problem. They're comparing. When we set goals, the way sometimes people teach us to set goals, we are using the faculty of desire, and we're especially claiming something falsely to the universe at securing what we want. I am rich. No, you're not rich. Because your old story won't let you be rich. That's desire. In a knowing, when you say in a knowing, when you come to grips with the fact that in this moment, you are the richest you will ever be. And in this moment, you're getting richer. You're as rich as you'll ever be. And in this moment, you'll be as rich as you'll ever be. The studies at Harvard say the fact that you can't be, you won't be happy when money comes, and money won't come until Jim Rohn's favorite word, until you're happy. In this moment is what brings the next moment. In this moment right now, you have to desire. You have to not desire anymore. You have to know what's in your control. And what's in your control right now is how you feel. Thanks for the info. And I had to check on my best friend and their families. Good. Thank you, Steph. If you fail in your desire, listen, if you fail, this is the same quote going on. There's about 6 sides to this quote. If you fail in your desire, you are unfortunate. If you experience what you would rather avoid, you are unhappy. How many of us are going for a goal and we're becoming unhappy as opposed to realizing what Einstein did? Not Einstein. Who made the light bulb?
Thomas Edison.
Thank you. Edison made the bulb. So Edison, what do we say about him all the time? He learned 9,999 ways to make a light bulb that won't work. It only took one time to make it work, but he didn't become unhappy. He said, that's unfortunate. How many of you, if you went through your day and had an experience of what you didn't want, you went, that's unfortunate. He doesn't like me. That's unfortunate. They didn't enroll with me. That's unfortunate. Oh my God, this thing sucks. Network marketing. Why doesn't anybody like me? I can't do this. I don't know. They quit. They left the auto ship. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. For desire, this is what I love about Epictetus. When I read this the first time, oh my God, put it on a shelf. Put desire on suspend it completely for now. Because if you desire something outside your control, you are bound to be disappointed. How many people on your team do you bring onto your team and they become disappointed? They become disenfranchised. You say, I do everything for them, but they don't get it because maybe there's a desire outside their control. They're thinking they can be like you. You've been doing it for 2 months, 2 years, 10 years, and you've been in this profession. You've got this worldly experience, this worldly things that you've done that you know good from bad, right from wrong, up from down as it relates to your business. And then they come in and you tell them it's going to be easy. You tell them just do this. You tell them you could make some money, and they're waiting for the money to show up, but they haven't done a dang thing because why? They're desiring what you want. I don't know if you'd even go as far as that's like claiming to false gods. Oh, I'm going to be like you. Well, no, go be like you. Go be like you. Don't follow anything on me. So you have to let them know. This is why this is about a business of giving up. This is about a business of stopping people. This is about a business of doing less so they can actually have more for the first time in their life. They have to do less TV. They have to do less complaining. They have to do less whining. They have to do less talking about it, more action. They have to completely suspend desire. I desire $1,000 a month. Well, get your ass up and go do something. Desire, law of attraction isn't going to show up while you're eating bonbons on the couch. Because if you desire something outside your control, you are bound to be disappointed. So think about every time you've been disappointed in your life. It's because you've wanted something that's not in this moment. What do we talk about when we really talk about setting goals? See, they touch on it and they don't even know they're touching on it. At least I'm going to assume that. You set a goal. You want to be at the next rank in your business. You want to be at the next rank in your company. You want to be there. You know what? The company can't send you the check until you show up. What? The company is dying to my company is dying to send me the biggest check the company's ever written in history. How many of you know that your company is just absolutely dying to wait to send you the biggest check it can in the history of your company? All you have to do is what? Show up. What do you get paid for? Bringing in customers and building leaders. That's the hardest reason. That's the hardest thing to do in the world. Customers are easy. Why is it so hard for people to get customers? Maybe because they don't believe in their product. Maybe they don't believe in what it'll do. Maybe they're worrying about prospecting based on rank, not on respect. You need to go talk to 10 people today. Why would I need to go talk to 10? You need to put 10 pennies in your pocket. How many of you have heard the 10 penny story? Put 10 pennies in your pocket, move it from left to right. And the only reason you move it from left to right, it's moving 10 pennies. At the end of it, here's what Larry Thompson would say. You did your job. You moved 10 pennies. Now you have more respect for yourself. He wasn't teaching you to go build rank. He didn't build $1 billion giant. Now, he may go, yeah, that works, but no, here's why I did that. Larry's a unique beast. He's a unique being of joy, of hope, of failures and fears of 52 years in this industry. Move 10 pennies. Go show yourself some respect. Don't go for the rank. 10 pennies a day. Let the world show up. Let the world say, okay, I'm ready. Because when you move 10 pennies a day, you get better. Your disappointment goes away. You're doing the action. But see, 10 pennies is inside of your control. You won't be disappointed. You'll know why the disappointment exists if you only got to 9. Does that make sense? This quote goes on. This quote goes on. And even things we do control. Now, here's the hard part. This one, you got to really sit down and pay attention. You got to forget about everything else for just a moment. Even things we do control, which under other circumstances would be deserving of desire, here's the hard part, are not yet within our power to attain. You wanting to get to Chairman 8,265, you wanting to get to Grand Poobah with the fez cap and the limo, you plant an oak seed today, you ain't got a full-grown oak tree tomorrow. Sometimes things take time. Brittany, this is going live on YouTube, so you'll find it on my YouTube channel. If you go onto my Instagram, in the Telegram link that's in my bio, I usually put the link to the replay there as well. But subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get an email when this stuff is done and popping up. Even things we do control. I do control my desire, my excitement. I do control whether I reach director 8 in my company, director 9 in my company. I control that. And under other circumstances, I would be deserving of that desire, but they're not yet within my power. Thanks, Steph. So here's my question for you. Where does everybody, we're going to go all run the New York Marathon, right? We're going to all go run the Boston Marathon together as a group. There's how many of us on here right now? There's 150 on here. We're all going to go run a marathon today. We're all going to go run the Boston Marathon in 2021 or this year. Where do you start at a different spot than I do? How do we know we've started the race? We cross the what? The starting line. How do we know we finished the race? We cross the finish line. What's between the starting line and the finish line? Every step along the way. Can I get to the finish line without taking all of the steps in the race? No, I can't. Can you do it faster than me? Oh, I bet a lot of you would finish it a heck of a lot faster than me. I'm just coughing thinking about it right now. I'm out of breath. Every step has to be crossed. Your desire of wanting to be the next 5 ranks in your company is kind of crazy, because you got to be which one? The next one. I need 600 people. I need 400 people in my organization. I'm at 300. Why do I get upset that I don't have 400? You know what I need? I need 301. Then I need 302. Then I need 303. See, 400 is my desire, but I can't attain it yet until I get 301. Right now, some of you have enrolled people and they've left. They've decided this wasn't for them, whatever their reason is. That's unfortunate. Don't be unhappy. That's unfortunate. What do you got to do? You got to replace them. You got to go put them back in. You're in a race. Listen, if it was easy, everybody'd do it. How many times have we heard that? If it was easy, everybody would be doing this. This ain't easy, living your dream. It's not easy living your dream, but you got to decide, are you living your life based on who grades you or who makes you? If you decide if you're living your life on who's making you, it gets a heck of a lot easier. Doesn't it? How many of you right now realize if you believe in the Father, that this moment, all of a sudden, it says let go and let God. How many of you are letting go and saying, I got to let my upline take it. I got to let my downline take it. Let go. And listen, let go. Let go of that desire of what's out there. Listen, your hips are big. They're never going to be a size 0. You've got great hips. You've got great shoulders. Some of you are a size 54 jacket. You'll never wear a 42 long. Natalie's got hair that we all love, but I can tell you there's days she's like, oh, my hair. Oh, I wish I could do something with it. But don't we say that about all of our stuff? Julie Cruz, who's there, she's got this amazing, just her stature when she stands tall and stands in her glory. There's nobody that can compete with her. But yet sometimes we all stand in our own glory thinking we don't deserve it, and we shatter, we crumble, we fall to the ground. That's why we need people around us to lift each other up. We need people around us who inspire us, who inspire us, who give us enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is in theos, God within. Even things we do control, which are under other circumstances, other moments in time, we would be deserving of our desire, are not yet within our power to attain. Stop thinking you're going to go to the mountain when you haven't even crossed the valley. You got to get out of the valley. You got to keep walking through the valley. So here's my question. Who's walking with you? Are you walking with the people who's grading you or the people who make you? The one who made you. Restrict yourself. Here's where he goes. Restrict yourself to choice and refusal. Somebody quit your business. Was that your choice or their choice? That was their choice. You can refuse the unhappiness. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And exercise them carefully within discipline and detachment. That's the hard part. Oh, that's the hard part. Detaching yourself from somebody else's desire, detaching yourself from somebody else's conversation. Y'all ready for this? So, how many of us Google? How many of us have our cousin Google? Man, that guy is sharp. Oof, that gal is sharp. So, what do? I like to compare things. I like to say, okay, there's this and then there's that. What does somebody else say about that? Give me another perspective of that. So I Googled in a book I have, in a tool I have. Where is it? Olive branch, maybe something. I forget what it is. But watch, this is what came up. I typed in it in the search. It's a Bible study kind of software. And I typed in it desire. Look what popped up. Come on. And you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, his male servant, his female servant, his ox, his donkey, anything that is your neighbor's. Listen carefully. Your upline, they've ranked up above you. Isn't that your neighbor? Isn't that your neighbor? Oh man, somebody you enroll and they pass you. How many of you have ever sponsored somebody and you enrolled them and they passed you? They've gone farther on than you have. And you're like, I should be where they're at. Isn't that your neighbor? You go to Instagram and you see somebody's driving a Ferrari, a Bugatti, a Lamborghini. Isn't that your neighbor? You go and post something on Facebook and people don't like it. They do like it. Aren't you their neighbor? Ooh, there's some pretty good books out there. We might need to spend a little more time in. I'm just saying, does this make sense? If this makes sense, type an S in the chat. Let's see if we still got 130 on here. I'm not sure. We probably lost some people on that one. What does this have to do with business? It has everything to do with business. It has everything to do with business. Oh, 155. We got a couple more. The armies are coming. Here's my conversation. Each of you are beyond the greatest gift ever given. Each of you are so wildly, amazingly beautiful and strong and intelligent. You've got life experiences I will never have. I've got some experiences you won't have. We've both got experiences. Listen carefully. We both got experiences neither one of us would want to trade. And I'd never want you to have to go through some of the miseries and challenges I have. And there's miseries and challenges you have you'd never want me to go through. So let's get very clear. What are you going to live your life by today? By the grades somebody else gave you, or by who made you and by what made you? Everything that made you up to this moment has made you this brilliant, amazing soul. In this breath, you are the greatest you will ever be. If you're saying, well, I could be more. Well, that's desire. You can't be any more than you are in this moment. In this breath, you decide what joy you want. And once you're in the state of joy you want, the state of grace you want, the state of belief you want in this moment, guess what happens in this moment? It can enhance. You can you set the sail of your journey, and now you've adjusted the sail, and now you're going to go through the waters at a faster pace. And when you set your sail and when you desire, you know where you're going in this moment, you put desire on the shelf and you say, in this moment, I control it. In this moment, I am great. In this moment, I believe in me. And you know what? In this moment, I just got better, because your body is building off of that greatness. You have a choice, desire or misery. Joy or misery. Choose joy. In the Bible, it says, and again, I can't recite you verse and chapter, so don't throw out going, well, it says over here. You're probably right. But a buddy of mine who is a rabbi would use this line. A rabbi would use this line. He says, in the Bible, it says, I lay before you life and death. Does anybody know what it says next?
Choose life.
Yes. How stupid do we have to be? If it says, I set before you life and death, choose life. I'm sorry. I thought we were like smarter than an earthworm. But you know what? You know why he has to say it to us? You know why the Bible says it to us? Because we're not smarter than an earthworm. Y'all figured that out yet? An earthworm sitting in joy over there in a pile of dirt. I love this. Oh, it rained a little bit. I got a little bit of water. They planted some plants. There's some little spores that I can eat. I'm loving it. Oop, I just pooped. Life is great. I didn't do it in my chair. I'm talking as if I'm the earthworm. But why did we have to, why were we needing to be told? I set before you life and death. Choose life. I set before you success and failure. What are you going to choose? Type an S or an F. Which are you going to choose? Now, there's 153 of you on here. Some of you aren't typing. Now, maybe you're driving. Don't type if you're driving. But some of you aren't typing. Some of you aren't chatting. Because why? Maybe you're too cool for school. I'm going to ask you to not be too cool for school. Success. I haven't seen anybody type failure. So if you get sad today, is that failure? Or is that success? That ain't, if God said, I made the earth and it is good. This isn't a religious training. I'm just using it because some of you know what that means. I don't even know what it means. I'm still learning. But I know there's these phrases that they're just truth. You can't argue with them. He looked at the world. He looked at the world and he said, it is good. That means you are good. That means the failure you have, that's good too. Don't look at his failure, say, oh, that's unfortunate, and move on. Let's review. Who's giving it? Who are they comparing to? What does this grade give you? What grade are you waiting for? Who made you? How are you making yourself? In whose likeness were you made? What are you making this in this world? Are you living for the grade or for the made? Are you living for the grade of life or for who the made in life? That the one that made. Y'all get this? This is a farm boy from Ohio. I ain't this smart. I'm not this smart. This downloads to me because it seems like it's something somebody needs to hear. And you know who the first person that needs to hear this? Me. We're almost done here. I mean, on the slides. So these words require you to have, remember we talked about this critical thinking. So this is a slide that came from yesterday. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is to be done objectively, meaning without influence from personal feelings, opinions, and bias. Not worrying about, so let's change it to today, without influence from somebody else's grade. I'm not this smart. Really, I'm not. I listen well. When somebody says to me, hey, listen, do this, and it's a higher power other than me, and they say, you should say this today. It would be good if you shared this. You could choose not to. You could go back to your own human dwelling, your own, where you think you're all that in a bag of chips. You're not. You're my gift to the world. What does it say? We're given every grace and talent. We're given everything we'll ever need. Everything you need is inside you. Every step you'll ever need, any joy you'll ever need, anything you ever need is already inside you. Our gift back to him is to develop every one of them. What are you developing today? I'm just developing my gift. It took me maybe 50 years to figure it out. Learning to understand how these two words help or hinder you, they take you through this process. The fear of realizing how much we're living for the grade versus how we're living for the made. Rob Cardenas, good to see you, brother. Angie, yes, we all hold that power, Angie. We all hold that power. Here's the tough part, the fear of realizing how much we're living in the grade. Here's what happens. If you start to be living in the made, knowing that you have every skill and talent you'll ever need in this moment, you just got to uncover it, let it go. You got to stop comparing. When you start standing up, you're going to probably change some of the circle of friends you're around. You're probably going to start seeing some people. There will be some haters. You got to learn how to deal with the haters. You don't have to deal with them. You go, oh, that's unfortunate. But I thought they wanted me to win. I asked this question when we have our one-on-ones. Some of you know this. Listen, who's afraid? Who's going to be jealous when you win? Who's going to be jealous when you win? The one who graded you or the one who made you? Ooh, smack. Sad. Realizing how much our critical voice controls and strangles our creativity. Every one of you could double your business. In the next 6 months, every one of you could double your business if you stop going for the grade. You go for who graded you, the one who made you. You could double your business if you stop going for the grade and you start living in the made. Every one of you are the greatest gift on this planet. Every one of you have more inside of you, but you're worrying about the grade you're going to get when you share it. I just worry about be surprised at what you could make of yourself today. Could you all do more? Could you all do more today? Could you all do just a little bit more by doing less? Could you spend a little bit more time on sharpening your own saw? Could you spend a little bit more time in listening to the answers to the prayers you've been asking? Some of you aren't listening. Some of you are too busy to listen. And then you get this. You wind up with crazy shirts on every morning and you're excited about life because you understand you get to control your own rules. You get to say, listen, I'm following the made rules, not the grade rules. I'd never followed. Listen, I had a 0.9 grade point in school. How they didn't invite me back. It was a private school, Gilmore Academy, Gates Mills, Ohio. My first semester, I got a 0.9. They go, he's not Gilmore material. But when I graduated that high school, they kind of built a little statue to me. Why? Because I was the epitome of Gilmore Academy. I was the one that every teacher had respect for. The students all had respect for. When I went to Dale Carnegie training, I didn't win any of the trophies of the awards. I got the most prized award for all of the 12 weeks of Dale Carnegie School, the one who did the most for the class. That's the award I'm looking for, the one who did the most for the most. What are you worrying about? How long is your legacy going to live? If you're working for the made, you're trying to work for the grade. How long will your legacy last? How many of you have to worry about your first grade report card? That's over and done. Are you still working on getting graded in life? Julio, I agree, brother. I agree. Listen, I'm a simple farm boy. I'm still learning my way around the graces that have been given to me. I have somebody very dear in my life who's guiding me in those graces. We all need mentors in every area of our life, the 6 areas of our life. I found this mentor because they were dropped into my life. And I listened. That's the fun thing. The person you're looking for, listen, the person you're looking for is listening for you right now. So, and then here's what happens. It becomes the new normal. See, all too often, there's too many people who can talk about it. There's too many people who can profess it, but are they doing it? They're still doing the grade. They're not doing the made. So, all that to say, what's your discipline? Start journaling. I know you guys are going to see this slide every single day. Every single day, you're going to see this slide. Why? Because this is the secret. This is the secret to every wildly successful person's success is journaling. The comments of your critical voice and how you deal with them. Decide every moment. Set an alarm on your phone, on your watch. Set an alarm every hour. Did I work this last hour for the grade or for the made? Are you revealing your greatest amazing secrets that are inside of you? Just be aware. Listen, you don't need me. You do not need me. You can't even you can't even use anything I have, anything that I have, because I am not teaching you. Everything that we say, the over 1,000 people who have been on this call since Christmas, 1,000 people have listened to me jibber jabber and run my jaw. I cannot teach you. The only thing I can do is remind you of what you're looking for. That's all I can do. I can't teach you. You're writing down notes and everything else. That's your gold, not mine. You're writing down my gold. Turn it into your gold. Ray Higdon says, those are your uncashed checks. Your journals are your uncashed checks. The next book you read is going to be a check. Will you cash it? The next Instagram post you hang out on, the next scrolling you do, those are going to be your checks. Can you cash them? Meditation. Give your brain some time to store the made parts of your life. Some of you haven't given yourself credit for the thousands of things you've already done that are absolutely freaking amazing. And describe your experience in your words, not mine. See, the challenge with going to an event, how many of us have ever heard for every hour of class, there's like 4 hours of study? Something like that. Here's what I know from video. For every minute of video, there's an hour of editing. You got a 30-minute video, there's a good chance to put out a good quality product. There's 30 hours of editing, unless you get really, 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 really good. But for the first part, for every minute of video, there's about an hour of editing to get it right, to get this. So for how many minutes have you been alive? Listen carefully. How many minutes have you been alive? Now, let me ask you, how many hours have you studied those minutes? CV stands for critical voice, Julio. How many minutes have you been alive, and how many hours have you studied those minutes? So that being said, was this valuable? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Now, I'm going to ask you, because we've got 155 amazing souls who are wildly excited. At least some of you are. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, click on the button, raise your hand so that I can, just like in school. Now we're going to be in the grade. We're going to see. Go ahead, Steph. I just see you clicked, raised your hand. Go ahead, Steph. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Hey, Sean. For me, I think it was just powerful because you kind of brought topics up that you and I talked about yesterday when I told you about my big moment last night of stepping outside my comfort zone and stand up for myself and not go after what someone else tells me to do.
Yep.
And you bring this topic up, it's just, it reminds me of that. And it also reminds me of your words of, kicking the naysayers down and having those people that really support you, that are with you on the road in the first row. And I just want to say thank you.
You bet. I love you tons. Thank you for sharing that.
Love you too.
Something hit me as you were talking, where we talk about the naysayers, we talk about the haters. What if we change the haters? Because hate is a bad word. I don't even like to say it. It's not allowed to be used in my house. That's how powerful the word is. It's not allowed to be used in my house. So what if we change that word, those people, to the graders? They're just being a grader. This way, we don't even have to use that word. We don't have to say that HATE word. We change those. Oh man, they're just graders. If you want to come up with your own little slang, let's come up with things that make us better, that enhance us. They're just graders. What are you talking about? They're trying to grade me. They can't grade me. They can't break me. They don't know who made me. Ooh, snap. What else? Anyone else? Raise your hand if there's something. I'd love to hear what you learned, what you like. Raise your hand, and if you got a question on it, I'll do my best to answer it. I know there's some smarter people on here that can give you some input. Raise your hand. Just click raise your hand. Let's see. Brian raised his hand. Go ahead, Brian.
Morning, y'all. I like everything. I got a question for you, Sean.
Okay.
So I think everybody has a moment or something particular in their life that kind of transitions them from being graded to living in that being made. What was that moment for you?
When my brother was outed as being gay back 40 years ago, and my family my mother absolutely, the matriarch of our family, just went sideways and absolutely wanted him crushed, wanted him gone, couldn't stand that. I didn't make that. And I wasn't of the awareness of made versus grade at that moment. I was 14 years old, but I made a choice at that moment to always be better. I chose to never have another bad day 40 years ago. And I've been working on it ever since. So that was a big changing moment. And then another moment was 17 years ago. 16 years ago, Mason was just born and he was getting very bad earaches. And our house had been destroyed. We were homeless at the time from hurricanes in Florida, 2004. And we decided, Bob Proctor was a mentor. I had hired Bob Proctor as a mentor 16 years ago. Actually, before that even, 18 years ago. And I realized that because of the way genealogy and genetics work, Mason was made up of me and Michelle. And Michelle and I were living in pity. We were living in comparison. We don't have a house. Our house was destroyed. The insurance company isn't paying us. We didn't even think, we weren't even grateful that we were alive. We weren't even thinking that. and Mason was getting sick. And so the next big life-changing moment was when we decided to start going back into meditation and prayer. Mason's earaches that he was having, they were going to put tubes in his ear, was gone. He never had the surgery. He was instantly healed. And that's not only because of Michelle and I getting better. It was because somebody much higher than us, God said, if you two pull your head out of your butt, I'll fix everything. And we did that. So those were my big moments. Gisela, you've got your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Sean and Misfits. I just want to thank you for reminding me that the answers are within me and the things that I need to have clarity and the actions I need to take, like the journaling, the meditation, because I'm sometimes very inconsistent. Like I start a couple days and then I forget, and then I pick it up. And I was just thinking the other day about your coachability index, that I'm very good at taking the notes, being there and all that. But is that action part? And I imagine for most of us, that is a struggle, that the consistency, the discipline to do it on a daily basis, not like 2 out of 3 days. And it's just something that, the reminders on your calls every day are like things that are speaking to me that, hey, I need to do this. I need to do this. And are there any suggestions you have to help us, pass that perhaps barriers that we put to ourselves so we get it done? What
Yes.
has worked for you?
Every hour, check in. Every hour, check in. You mean every hour, every 60 minutes, I got to check in and see what I'm doing? Yeah, because I'd rather you do it every minute. If you could do it every minute, check in just one breath out of every minute, one breath, one time out of 16 or 17 respiratories per minute, right? When you're acting, that's the average respiratory rate. Maybe it's 12. I don't know, but just one out of every 10. I love me. I love me even more. I exhale fear and doubt. I inhale faith and courage and exhale fear and doubt. Okay, back to work. Now that's multitasking. That detracts you. But so just do it every hour. In the last hour, was I going for the grade or going for the maid?
That's a good one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every hour, just every hour. Because here's the thing: your next 90-day plan, your next 90-day push is made up of hours, and every hour is made up of minutes, and every minute is made up of moments. The problem, the reason you can't hit the 90 days is because you missed out on the moments 89 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Be in this moment. Sadhguru says, in this moment, you have a choice. Choose happiness or choose misery. In the Bible, it said, choose life or choose death. In this moment, you choose life or choose death.
Life, absolutely.
Then is life supposed to be meant to be lived as a miserable cretin going, listen, if we all had the mindset of an earthworm, how many of us would, listen, let me listen carefully outside my window. Nope, I don't hear worms protesting. I don't hear them arguing. I don't hear them complaining that there's Jews out there, there's Christians. I don't hear them arguing. Oh, is that a worm making a protest? Oh, no, it's not. It's a piece of trash. I thought it was a worm making a protest. And we consider ourselves the highest form of life. An old Cherokee Indian proverb says, 2 branches are never foolish to fight amongst themselves for the light. You ever look at a limb on a tree?
Mm-hmm.
There's a branch here, and then it goes off here, and then on the other side, it goes off over there, and then on the other. Tell me there's no is the tree going for the grade, or is it living for the maid?
Absolutely, for the maid. Mm-hmm.
Rhonda, how you doing? I see you undressing there. You getting a little warm? Rhonda's getting fired up.
Mm-hmm. So thank you, Sean, for sharing.
Thank you, Gisela.
This gift that God had given you of, turn everyday stuff into simple life lessons that we all could relate to. So that's a gift.
My mentor who guides me in the spiritual side, I said to her the other day, I said, well, if he could use a sinner, if he could use a tax collector, maybe he could use me.
Yes, and he's using it, Sean.
Yeah.
He's using it.
You know, and that's the thing. When you're being used, sometimes you don't know it. How many of us are being used by our upline and don't know it? Oh, ouch. Oh, I'm only saying that because you're better than that. You're better than using your group. You're better than using your team. Go help make them. Go help them release their gift that they were made. We have a volunteer army. We have a volunteer army. I think that worked for the guy who had 12 of them.
Mhm.
I think that happened for, right? Look what happened to the guy who had 12. We use that. Some people use that in network marketing as an example. Look at what this guy, he had 12. Look what he turned into. If
Mhm.
we could only be so lucky. Anyone else? Raise your hand. Go ahead and raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want to have. What'd you learn? What'd you like? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Thank you, Gisela. I love you tons.
Me too.
Anyone else? Let me look here. Raise your hand. So is it Mahias? I know I'm saying that wrong. Please tell me how to say it correctly. Mia Hayes. Maybe that's it. All right. We're going to go on to Fatu. Fatu, go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay. No, Mia Hayes is there. Mia Hayes is there. Go ahead, Mia.
Hi. How are you?
Outstanding. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I guess I'll just ask a question
Sure.
in regards to. I get pretty anxious when it comes to wanting to, present my business or speak to people about the business in person and things like that. And I just think I need a little advice on how to just de-escalate my nerves before I approach someone because I'm just getting started. I'm new and I'm
Sure.
not really sure how to,
So Mia,
do it.
You're saying you're new in the business. My mama said never ask a lady her age. So could you give me an age range that you are right now?
Early 20s.
Okay, so early 20s. So when you say you're new in this business, let me ask you this question. Have you ever had to ask anybody for anything in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had to ask somebody for something that was really, really, really important to you?
Yeah.
And when you asked them for that thing that was really, really, really important to you, were you doing it just for you or were you doing it for somebody else? Because if you got it, you could do something for somebody else.
True.
Or was it just for you, the thing you were asking for?
Well, you gotta read it.
It was for me.
Okay. And when you got the thing you were asking for, did you feel better?
Yeah.
And if you didn't get it, was your life ruined?
It was harder if I didn't when I asked for it, but I still found a way.
Okay. So let me ask you this. The business that you now have, the thing you asked for was for you. If you ask somebody to join you in business, is it just for you or do they get benefit too?
It's for them, their
Okay.
benefit.
So they get benefit, you get benefit. Are you worried if they say no? If they say no, does it ruin your day? Does it ruin your life?
No, it doesn't.
Are there going to be some people who don't want to succeed?
Yeah, there are.
So then you just got to decide who you're talking to. So you got to set up your question better. Listen, I want to ask you a question. I want to share something with you. But before I share it with you, I need to ask you a kind of a prequel question. If I shared something with you that would help you succeed, would you be able to see it? And you let them answer it. Now you don't have to be nervous about asking them because you're nervous about, you're going for the grade. If you're getting nervous when you're talking about your business, I don't know which business you're in. I can guess, but I don't need to know what business you're in because all it is any business we have has a desire behind it, has a goal behind it to help them win. So
Right.
how many of you ask your prospects, hey, listen, if I showed you something and it helped you win, it's helping other people win. Could you see that it's a winning opportunity? Or would you only do you see everything as a negative opportunity, a losing opportunity?
I'm writing this down.
I know that's okay. I'm good. People do write down some stuff I say.
Love your energy and positivity.
Thank you. So just think about that. Listen, I have something to show you. Other people are using it to win. If I show it to you, I'm going to ask you, do you think you'll be able to see the winning parts of it? Or are you only going to show me the negative parts of it, which that tells me a whole nother part about you. We don't have to make this difficult, folks. We don't. We should. It would be good if we didn't. So Fatu, go ahead. Mia, did that help with your question?
Yeah, it helped a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you tons. Appreciate you. So Fatu, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. And
Good morning.
Thank you for my name. I love it. Yeah, I wanted to share some gratitude towards you.
Aw.
Every time I come on these calls, I have a moment of revelation, and I'm big on like just self-love, self-awareness, and self-improvement every single day of my life. And about 2 weeks ago, I had a huge revelation of like, where are my limiting beliefs coming from? I'm really working on that in order to manifest stuff that I do deserve into my life, that I do that I'm worthy of. And I was thinking of this, the topic that you're talking about today, about who is grading you, instead of like, why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And it was because of the people who had like told me certain stuff, and I took whatever they told and I held on to it like it's as important as my breath. And I realized that, and instantly I had to release it. And I keep this quote in mind: if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can't touch me. And that is so important, because like you said, you don't teach us, but you pull out of us whatever we already had on the inside. And that's something that I strive to do. Like, I don't have a team right now, but when I have a team, even for my siblings and my friends, that's what I aim to do in life in general. Just pull greatness out of everybody, because we already possess it from within. So I just want to say thank you so much. Every time that you speak, I'm like writing down everything that you say. So thank you so much, so much, so much. We really need this. And yeah, thank you so much.
It's my privilege, Fatu. Here's the thing, folks. Right now we're communicating in English. In English, there's only 26 letters. I didn't make none of them. Everything I got's borrowed. Now I put it in my own syntax, my own order. How many of you have ever gotten a recipe and then added your own little flair to it? That's what I got. I got a recipe. There's a couple of books out there I consider a recipe. There's one that I'm really falling in love with. That's like a couple of 1,000-year-old book. That's a pretty darn good recipe book. I don't speak some of the Latin or that it's in it, but I'm learning it. But this recipe book, and then we get to add our own little flair to it. I get to add my own little Irish Russian flair to life. So thanks, Fatu, for sharing that. Let's see, who else is there? Jasmine Jones in the house. Let's go to our next caller on the line, and it's Jasmine.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, I love being on your calls. They make me like, I don't know, just like really happy every time I get on. So I just wanted to say, like, I really wish that I knew this while I was in school, because I like just graduated college like back in May of last year. And like from basically since kindergarten until then, I was just super stressed all the time, because I was like being graded on things that had nothing to do with me. And like even in college, like I had a like creative major, and I was still being judged on my level of creativity when that doesn't even make sense. And like I just like had this like aha moment about like basically like nothing actually, like whatever matters to me, and that's the end of it. And like I shouldn't be sitting up here, you know, wanting to impress other people, wanting to like, because I remember there was like a post or something about like how there's a lot of people who, for instance, like they buy things not for themselves, but just to please other people. And so like that just like all of what you said gave me like a whole aha moment. And now I'm just going to be like, I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you. Shammy, go ahead.
So let me walk away from my babies so they don't,
Aw.
so they're not too loud. Kilian, I just wanted to say that you mentioned Jim Rohn earlier today.
Yep.
And I've been listening to him these past couple of days, and he was talking, what I was listening to yesterday, he was talking about value. And I think that kind of fits in with what are you made? He was saying like value is the most important thing. And that kind of determines like, you know, what my babies are too loud. Also, I brought Bob Proctor. I found him like a year ago, and he has a really good ebook that's for free. It's called You Were Born Rich.
Yep.
And I think you could probably find it off his website or off his Instagram, and I really recommend it. I've read it already like at least twice. And I just wanted to say that.
Awesome. Thanks, Shammy. I appreciate you. Yeah, You Were Born Rich is a great book. So we're
He
going to go to
actually-
Manny and Catherine, and then I got to wrap because it's a school day and I got to make sure Mason's off to school. So Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Outstanding, brother.
I love these calls, man. They make me so happy in the morning, bro.
Listen, be careful. I want you to hear this. You make you so happy. I just happen to be a catalyst. I need you to hear that. Don't come here for me for joy, because you could have had the same
definitely.
joy without me. I
course.
need y'all to hear that. I love that y'all are here. We can be happy together. But no,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
allowed
Yeah,
yourself to be
that's what
happy. Go
I
ahead.
meant. That's what I meant.
Good. That's what I heard.
Look, one thing I learned that really stuck with me, right, was you can't plant an oak tree today and expect it to be a full-grown oak tree tomorrow, right?
Right.
And I feel like that really like resonated with me because like things are going slow for me, and I'm not really full-time in this business, right? I have 2 jobs, you know, I'm part-time, and I know things are gonna take time, and that really like helped me like not reassure myself, but like it really like just made me like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I was like, yeah, that's true, and it just makes me want to just keep doing this, and like because I know I'm going to succeed. I know it works, so I just have to keep working at it, and I just really appreciate like getting on this call, and really that really resonated with me, and I just wanted to thank you, man, and I'm so grateful for these calls. You know, Neno put me onto this, and I've been on these calls nonstop for the past couple of days, and yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate it. And for those of you that are going and watching on the YouTubes and watching the replays, I appreciate it. I'd love if you learned something, if something jumped out at you as you're listening to the replay on YouTube, go ahead and click or go ahead and make a comment. That would be awesome. Catherine, go ahead. Thanks, Manny. Catherine, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Outstanding.
Good. First, let me throw some gratitude towards you. I already have so many pages filled up in my notebook from just being on your calls for a few days, as well as Manny. Neno put me on your calls, and it has been a great morning experience. I listen to you in the morning, so before I go to work, and I am just grateful to have been on these calls and get the little nuggets that you're dropping for us, and it just puts my mindset in the right mood to start my day. So I am very grateful to be on these calls. And I also just had a question for you.
Sure.
So I want to know how I can help pull greatness out of people, specifically young people like teenagers who aren't really able to escape their environment.
Okay. So you say they can't escape their environment. So how could they escape their environment?
So
in what methodology? Couldn't they do it in thought?
They could do it in thought. I guess the biggest factor is I have some nieces and nephews who their parents are kind of just very negative and throw a lot of negativity in their life. And I'm the opposite.
Sure.
I can only see them but so much. So I'm trying to see how I can help change their mindset.
So let me ask you this. Are there some mean people in the world?
Always.
And are there some amazing people in the world?
Always.
Let's ask the sun if they care who gets the sunlight.
Right.
So just go be the sunlight. Just go be the example. Go pour love into them. Listen, if you listen to Bob Proctor at all, he says you can't go talk to people about wealth who are talking about being poor. So I would encourage you to not even mention anymore. Don't even profess, don't even bring up the fact that their parents are negative. Their parents are doing the best they can. Just if you start saying they're negative, guess what the universe has to bring? Well, we got to make them negative today. This is this whole power of you dropping this law of attraction. So you want to help younger kids? Just go be the one that helps younger kids. Don't worry about anything else. Let your strength be stronger than anybody else that was somebody else.
Right.
Because you wouldn't be having this conversation with me if you aren't this amazing soul, if you weren't the sunlight for people. Your sunlight's going to show up to some negative people. It's going to show up to some positive people. Listen, what's going to grow is what needs your sunlight. So just go be your sunlight.
Okay, cool.
Does that help?
Thank you.
You
That's
bet.
what I needed.
And so I know she didn't raise her hand, but I want to get some feedback from Ms. Rhonda Bird Parker up there in the corner. Top left-hand corner. I'd like to go with the circle. Top left-hand corner, please, Bob.
Good morning. Okay, so two of y'all have said something about pulling greatness out of people, and I was writing some notes down. And what hit me is you can't pull greatness out of people, but you can help them see the greatness that's inside of them and help them see how to release their greatness. Every day we get on this call, that's what Sean does to us. He doesn't come over and go, get on the call, listen to me, take notes. He doesn't do any of that. He gets on the call and he exposes the greatness that's already inside of us. And as he does that, it gives us an avenue to see inside ourselves deeper and to have a place to release it. So exactly what he's doing is exactly what you should do for those people that you're like, oh, I know they're better than this. I know they've got greatness inside of them. I know they could succeed at network marketing. I know they could have a better life. Provide the avenue for them to even be able to see there's greatness inside of them. How many of us on this phone call ever saw our greatness until we got on this phone call? I knew down inside of me in my bones since I was 4 years old, y'all. 4 years old, I knew the greatness that was inside of me, but I had never been given a place or someone to help me facilitate getting that out. So you can't pull greatness out, but you can show them. I've got nieces and nephews that are in horrible situations right now, and they are amazing, amazing people. They've got talent and abilities, but they're under so much negativity, but I see the greatness. So I kind of live by this quote around them. We've all heard it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, but you can salt the oats and make them thirsty. And salting the oats and making them thirsty is you loving on them, you shining light on them, you seeing the greatness in them without making them have to bring it out, but just giving them an avenue to let it come out. So be the avenue, be the person that just shines light on them. Do what you see Sean Murphy do on this phone call to every single person you see, and your life will be drastically different. And the greatness that you see come out of you, you'll go, oh my gosh, that's always been there. Now I finally see it. So this is, and I don't mean this way, but y'all just this is a monkey see, monkey do. What you see this farm boy from Ohio do, you just do the same thing with your heart and your accent and your flair, and you will give people the avenue to let their greatness come out. That just, I mean, when I wrote it down, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I wrote gold by it. Can you see that? That is freaking gold right there. That is the avenue to everybody's heart and is an avenue to show them true life and true happiness. So there you go.
Awesome.
I love y'all.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. I see Julio on camera and John. Great to see you guys, you gentlemen. Brian raised his hand. Go ahead, Brian. You've got a last comment, and then we're gonna wrap up for today, folks. I love you all. We'll see you all in the morning. But go ahead, Brian.
I just wanted to add on to really actually what Rhonda said in response to your question, Catherine. As far as pulling youngsters out of an environment, I grew up in an environment that had me feel like it was very easy to feel trapped, right? And so I mentioned earlier being an artist. Just like Rhonda said, you can't physically take these kids out of this environment, but you can facilitate their mind to help them escape. Just like you said earlier on the call, Sean, we're created with talents. And so our job in this world is to expand on those talents. My peace of mind is nature. And so when I can't escape to nature, I create it, I draw it, I paint it. That's my escape from my environment, be it mental, physical, etc. So one way that you can help these youngsters is to give them the avenue to express and expand their talents. That's all.
Absolutely. And listen, folks, I'm going to go to Brian, and because he says he's an artist, every one of you are an artist. Here's the reality. Listen carefully. I want this to sit in your soul. I want it to awaken your subconscious. Every piece of art, if there was only one piece of art, you're looking at a copy. The original happens in Brian's head. When he says, I want the environment, he is drawing you the copy, because we always have the original. I got chills on that one. We've got to learn that we are the original creator. We are given a gift, and it's downloaded into us in the capacity. There's somebody on this call in the top cameras there that told me stories about their daughter almost planning a funeral, and now they're doing these amazing things in life, and how a drunk driver had this accident and did some amazing things. And then all of a sudden, how are you even here? How are you even standing? It's not by our own, it's by the grace of something greater than us. And it's because you are now becoming the example and the test in testimony for the rest of the world to see. So with that being said, know that you are loved, and the courage you have, use our courage in you. Every one of us has more courage in everyone else on this call than we do in ourselves. Y'all have more faith and courage in me than I do in myself. And that's why I show up every day, because y'all pour into me greatness. Y'all are making me better. You can ask some people who've been on this call for a while. These calls have changed. These calls have gotten better. And why have they gotten better? Because you guys are making me better. I'm using you to make me better. You are pouring into me, even just being here. I need this. I love this. I enjoy this. But here's the other thing. If y'all left tomorrow, I'd find something fun to do as well. I want you here. I get to have you here. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid that says, if you leave, I lose when you leave. Just know that when a little bit of you goes with me, right? Jim Rohn said, a little bit of you goes with me and a little bit of me goes with you. Who's going with you today, the grade or the maid? I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Go ahead and wish each other some great days.
Have a great day.
Love y'all.
Have a great day, everyone. Love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
bless up.
everybody.
Have a great day.
Everybody
Y'all
have
are
a
awesome.
blessed day.
Blessed day, y'all too.
Have a
See y'all in
blessed
the morning, bright and early, bushy tail. Till then, bye for now.